Alright, what's up, yins, guys? I keep trying to make videos about this, and either I never got around to it, or I kept trying to make videos, and I'm, what do you call it, yammering on about stuff that really, it takes a lot of videos and different blocks of information, if you will. You can't say everything in one video without being almost like a teacher you once had in school or college. That teacher that, like, the class will be over and you'll rattle on and really get into one thing, meant to talk about one thing, and then rattle on and the class will be over. So I wanted to say this about, and I was always making large amounts of comments in this particular guy, I'll put his name in, about gang stalking, and I'm saying that I'm not just full of shit when I'm saying these long-winded comments. I'm trying to say that there's so much in it. It depends on the individual and the area and how many different cultures are in one particular area. But what I wanted to talk about here, this is the most important, worth making a video about, because this works for me. And I'm not trying, I don't want to have anybody do this in no way with bad intentions, but to thwart gang stalking, this is a very good solution if you're willing to do it. And if you're like me, and I did long-winded comments, right, about always living in the shadow, and there's different people watching this that may have been, depending on where you're at. I myself understand that some of these people say you were on drugs and you drank too much at one time, but I was always living in the shadow of relatives that did, and I always accused so many people that were jealous of me because I don't have no record, and I managed to escape all of that. I was always around it. And people, and when you're being gang stalked, if you're somebody like me, I don't think I'm so much better. But there was people that, oh, you think you're better. Some of your stalkers can be your own, and I want to say all this about handlers and all that. Somebody like me, they want you to egg you on. They want to egg you on to do things because they don't want you to be better than their relatives that failed, and not like you're trying to see them fail. Like I said, I had cousins that were always, that kind of messed their life up, sad to say. Not that I delight in it, but anyway, one of the solutions, because people are looking at you, whether you have a ponytail or because you're a certain color, because you're this or that, because you're not in their churches, or, and if you go this way and join this crowd, you're stalked by these people. And if you join this crowd, it's a double-edged sword. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, damned if you go here, damned if you go there by somebody. So, but I said, find something you kind of believe in, and I myself believe in trying to do something to help the people that have been fucked over, disenfranchised, that maybe that you could give them something to eat that's available. One thing I'm talking about, I wanted to outright say, whether you're religious or not religious, the one fact, okay, whether you're an atheist or God, or a God person, what I'm getting at, the camera eye is always there, and you got to be able to flip off the camera eye. And if you know how to handle certain things, and myself, the gang stalking thing, and handlers, I think, had people that were trying to be my handlers. They can't fucking stand me, and I think that if you want to say that you'd be your potential handlers, this is how I did it, okay? And I don't want to say to join an organization just for this either, but it's worth doing. And if you have passions, even though you're treated like shit, and if you think you're being stalked or you're living in a shadow and that's why you're stalked. What I did, yes, and I'm on YouTube, too, with the uniform on, so to speak. And what I did is I did this so that I can, laid off from certain kind of lines of work during the winter. And I wanted to say, too, if you're unemployed and collecting unemployment, you can do this, or if you don't have nowhere else to go in a job for the wintertime, do this. And some people in religion say, yet lest you boast. And since the camera eye is watching you already, right? One of the things that you can do, because you're in under the scrutiny of the camera eye, the minute you're standing by there in the Salvation Army doing something like that, you can make some friends, whether some people really like you or not. I myself did a real bold thing, which a lot of you guys will look at me like I'm nuts watching this video for doing. Okay, and you can look like an asshole, however you want to take it. And well, some of the people in the organization, you don't know what they're thinking of you, but you'll get respect in one way or another if you think you're being stalked. There's the way, is a way that you can shed a lot of this and be liberated in a certain way. Unlike the television preachers teach you about giving, and don't mean you're giving for an ulterior motive, but even some religious people, if you're somewhat religious or not, there is a thing called the sign of the times, because the camera eye is out there, like that movie Person of Interest. I took a little long time getting to the point here, but taking money they know what a camera, put it right in that bucket, a larger amount, right in front of people at a Walmart, or the camera's there, you can see that camera. People know who you are if you're doing anything sneaky. So I'm one of the persons that if people want to disrespect me for that, I still care about the poor, right? But I know right for a fact the camera sees everything. If any of you people that think you're being gang stalked or whatever, and maybe you believe in something, I say go. And even though it sounds crazy to some of you, go right there, look at the camera, and make sure it's in front of people. Take money out of your pocket, especially if it's some of your unemployment money. Put money in that bucket. You will make friends, and then outside of from there, if you're riding the bus, you're going to a store, you will have people talking to you as friends, and you'll get some respect from people. And you might make some of your other stalkers. Yeah, you will piss them off. I mean, and I think some Christians will call this doing something in arrogance, but yet, if you want to be a Christian and believe in the apocalypse and the side of the times where everything is electronic and you're microchips and that camera eye, and it's even in my town and in neighborhoods, there's cameras. They know. And you can, in this day and age, give or do something knowing right in full view of the camera, because, yeah, that camera eye is out there. And then, and if you believe in something anyway, and then I think there are some people that wouldn't even do or collect unemployment that won't even do the littlest, thing. And I don't judge them or say I have anything against them for it. But yes, I did it to be arrogant. I know the stalking is out there, the camera eye, for good reasons. Sometimes too, people are trying to thwart crime. But if you're under any kind of scrutiny, live in the shadow or anybody, and think you're being gang stalked, and you do believe at the same time out of the goodness of your heart, you can be accused of not doing something out of the goodness of your heart. But the camera eye is out there, and it'll judge you even before God first. But if you believe in God, yeah, God will do it later, and God sees. But the camera eye sees first. And you're judged on this earth by that before even God, so to speak. And you got to do something about it, right? And people might accuse you, say, "Oh yeah, you're doing this right in front of a camera just to show people, so you can't be accused." Oh, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, you're putting maybe a tithe or a percentage, taking some of your money out. Say you're putting in $20, $30, or $50 in, right?" They might say, your critics, your stalkers might say, "Oh yeah, maybe he's putting $50 in front of everybody, but he's probably stealing 1,000 somewhere. He's probably still some kind of damn thief or whatever." Or they'll say if you're going to put some kind of, but if you believe in something in mankind, and you can actually do this. I mean, I have done it, and it has freed me. It's definitely freed me from a lot of stuff, and but not that you don't believe in doing what you're doing, but the camera eye is there. Like I said, I wanted to get right to the point. And I think this may not be a total cure, but, it's not always logical for some people. But Yes, one of the things, I'm an asshole. I can't stand religion. I do things on, say things on videos. There's a like hate with different, so many different cultures that I deal with. But one thing I do believe in is like, no matter what people will accuse me of, if I tell you to do a giving in a certain kind of a way, I mean, but still, you about caring about. I'm an asshole, but I care about the poor and the people that have less to eat or whatever too. If they're being fucked over, even temporarily, and some of it, and I do believe if you're watching the workplace mobbing thing, it puts people temporarily out. And I do lines of work that vary outside, and I like that better. You know what I mean too. If you don't get 40 hours, I can do some of my videos, and I'm just saying fuck the world in a way. But I want to do something and do it well. I'm out. Certain these out in the open jobs like that, that I sometimes you'd rather make less than make a whole bunch. But yet I had my reputation in my 20s where I landed a good paying job that was making a pretty good bit of money, and arrogant pissed money away and didn't last. But I loved it when people were watching me. Oh, he might be this or drug dealer or that. Oh yeah, how does he think he is? Who the hell gave him a job making this kind of money? And I was in restaurant whipping out like a lot of money and just ordering whatever, and able to tip people more. And I mean, who even saves a big bunch of money in a bank? Too. A lot of us don't. And there's these people they'll put you under scrutiny because they got that SUVs, fucking SUVs. They live on credit. You don't drive no fancy car to work, or like me, I fucking don't give a shit about no car and living on credit. Buying yourself a nice stereo when you do got good money. And there are these people that'll say, "Oh yeah, I ain't giving him no job." He'll be that. I know who he is. He's that asshole that when he had that better paying job some years ago that it's harder to come by these days. Yeah, walk around with a ponytail, walk around, so he can smirk it. Yeah, I ain't giving that motherfucker no job so he can walk around with a ponytail. Oh, and damn, have a walk around with a big smirk on his face like he got money, uh, and then even people that you've talked about religious, you don't know what they really think of you, because everybody wants you to believe their way, and even in the other lifestyle, some of these people, the partying lifestyle, that people, you got your handlers there. They want to make everybody, like Henry Rollins always wanted to say too. Everybody somewhere wants to get you addicted to something. If you ever listen to the Henry Rollins everything thing, I mean CD. But I'm just trying to make a video here before this time runs out on this camera I have. I got to splice together my asshole cooking show that I have on this camera before it times out. But I should have got more to the point. But doing something in full view with a camera eye that people don't see logical, you'll piss some people off, and you got to be unpredictable. Even though some of you people don't like Donald Trump, I'm not endorsing or against him either way. I like the idea about being unpredictable. You got to be unpredictable, but don't do anything that's against the law. If you want to thwart your gang stalkers and get people thinking, and you can gain some people's respect, even though some people might think you're strange in some kind of ways. But yeah, this shit affects, people will get harassed for different reasons, whether they're black or white or anything, or even harassed by their own, because don't matter what color you are, you can be harassed by your own because nothing you do is ever good enough. And you got to act, think, and dress their way. I mean, or else you don't deserve to be able to make a living, or whatever, too, But I was joining things like charities, what I did, because I don't give a rat's ass what people think. Is that my kind of things is I care about people to a certain extent. You know what I mean? That I think that times change, and